This obese girl is named Shurya. She works at a jewelry company. Although she is ugly, she has an optimistic and tolerant heart. Shurya is responsible for planning a project, but her manager Meena steals it for herself. However, Meena is unable to explain the project perfectly in front of the president, Xia Hao. This makes Xia Hao very dissatisfied with her. Shurya stops the president and tries hard to explain her plan. Xia Hao expressed his approval of Shurya's proposal. Meena, in an attempt to claim credit, insisted on demonstrating the proposal on the spot. She had Shurya pretend to be a bug and crawl out of a prop. This idea pleased Xia Hao greatly. However, as Shurya emerged from the prop, her pants split open. The colleagues couldn't help but laugh out loud. Xia Hao got up and used his own clothes to cover Shurya's embarrassment. He also cordially invited Shurya to attend the celebration dinner the next day. Shurya looked at Xia Hao's departing back and completely fell for him. The next day, she wore what she thought was her most beautiful dress to attend the celebration dinner. Unfortunately, when she arrived, the party was already over. Xia Hao, who was drunk, collapsed on Shurya. Shurya quickly asked the waiter to prepare a bed. The drunk Xia Hao mistook Shurya for his girlfriend. By a twist of fate, the two ended up sleeping in the same bed. After waking up, Xia Hao looked at Shurya with disgust. Shurya immediately explained that she didn't mean to kiss Xia Hao. Xia Hao nearly fainted upon hearing this. Shurya, rejected by Xia Hao, looked utterly dejected. Misfortune strikes when one is down. Meena also refused to allow Shurya to participate in the company's planning project and fired her on the spot. Shurya was deeply despairing after being fired. She vented her frustrations to her best friend Lei Jie over the phone. She couldn't understand why Xia Hao hated her. After hanging up the phone, Shurya was involved in a car accident, and her face was disfigured. Lei Jie stayed by her side the entire time. Shurya underwent plastic surgery and recovered well. When Lei Jie removed the bandages, he couldn't believe his eyes. The fat girl from before had turned into a beautiful woman. Lei Jie thought she was the woman of his dreams. After her plastic surgery, Shurya was reborn. Lei Jie took her to a bar to let her experience the feeling of being noticed by men. However, he also said that true love wouldn't be found in such a place. He was afraid that the innocent Shurya would be deceived by a bad man. At that moment, Xia Hao's client arrived at the bar. Just as Shurya was daydreaming about Xia Hao, a stranger approached her and tried to get her to drink. Xia Hao beat him up. Shurya was very happy at that moment. At that moment, Meena realized that firing Shurya was a mistake. No one in the company could replace Shurya's talent. Meena couldn't come up with a plan, so she had to ask Shurya for help. Shurya lied and said she was Meena's roommate so that Meena wouldn't notice anything. She thought about it and was afraid that Meena would continue to bother her, so she decided to move in with Lei Jie. When Lei Jie saw Shurya lying on the bed, he was startled. He warned Shurya that if she wanted to live in his house, she had to do all the housework. She also couldn't touch his personal belongings. Thus, the two friends became roommates. Lei Jie helped Shurya change her name and get a new ID card. Shurya, reborn with a new identity, changed her name to Mi Duo. However, she now carried the heavy burden of her secret identity. Xia Hao was photographed with the popular female celebrity Gao Wen while discussing a collaboration. Rumors of their affair spread like wildfire. Xia Hao didn't mind. He suggested to Gao Wen that they use the scandal to boost the company's reputation. It would also significantly increase Gao Wen's popularity. Since it was a win-win situation, Gao Wen had no reason to refuse. Mi Duo saw the rumors about Xia Hao and Gao Wen and believed them to be true. She was deeply disappointed because Xia Hao was the first man she had ever loved. Lei Jie urged her to face reality and not be so stubborn. Xia Hao, with his status, would never look at her. Lei Jie feared that Mi Duo would be hurt by this. Mi Duo said that even if she got hurt, she wouldn't give up. The two had a heated argument about it. Lei Jie was so angry that he threw Xia Hao's clothes out. Heartbroken, Mi Duo ran to a bar to drink, but after the bar closed, she found that she had nowhere to go. She could only return to Lei Jie's home. Lei Jie immediately picked up the clothes he had just thrown away. Mi Duo said she just liked men like Xia Hao. She hugged Xia Hao's clothes tightly and started daydreaming. Lei Jie secretly vowed not to hurt Mi Duo anymore. Mi Duo was in a great mood today, because the media revealed that Xia Hao and Gao Wen's relationship was just a rumor. At the same time, Mi Duo also received a call from the company asking her to apply for the position of president's secretary. She dressed up and appeared in front of Xia Hao. Xia Hao asked her why she wore that outfit to the interview. "If you dress like that and go with me to meet clients, they will definitely notice you first." Xia Hao said that he needed a secretary, not a woman who only knew how to dress up. Mi Duo was very hurt by his words. After drinking, she confided her dissatisfaction to Lei Jie. In her confusion, she mistook Lei Jie for Xia Hao. The next morning, Mi Duo received a call from the company informing her that she had been hired. Upon hearing the news, she was overjoyed and immediately wanted to celebrate with a drink. However, Lei Jie warned her not to drink anymore. He did not explain why. Mi Duo was completely confused by his words. In reality, she had been hired by manager Lin from the company. The department she was assigned to was the design department, not the president's office. Manager Lin assigned her to deliver a proposal to the president's office. Xia Hao mistakenly believed that Mi Duo was intentionally approaching him. He once again angrily drove Mi Duo away. To catch up on her jewelry knowledge, Mi Duo worked overtime until late at night and was coincidentally spotted by Xia Hao. Lei Jie kindly brought her a late-night snack. When he saw Mi Duo reviewing jewelry materials, he voluntarily stayed to accompany her. He even mentioned that memorization was his strong suit. Lei Jie looked at Mi Duo, who was sleeping soundly in the passenger seat, and felt a surge of affection. From then on, Mi Duo continued to work overtime until late at night every day. One day, after finishing work, she walked to the elevator and suddenly the power went out. By accident, she bumped into Xia Hao, who was also leaving work. Both of them were startled. Frightened, Mi Duo followed Xia Hao back to the office. Xia Hao told her not to speak, not to move, and not to ask any questions. Otherwise, he would immediately kick Mi Duo out. Mi Duo, looking so close to Xia Hao, felt her heart flutter again. She accidentally saw the planning document on the desk. She immediately offered her suggestions for the new planning document. The company could use a short film to promote the new jewelry. This idea caught Xia Hao's attention, and he accepted Mi Duo's suggestion for the new planning proposal. Lei Jie was still waiting for Mi Duo at home and began to feel restless. He covered his face with a notebook and walked into the psychiatric clinic. He explained to the doctor that he had come today for a close friend. His friend had developed unusual feelings for a girl he had grown up with since childhood. When the doctor heard that it was a feeling of restlessness, he immediately said that it was a symptom of depression. Lei Jie had fallen in love with Mi Duo without realizing it. In his heart, he and Mi Duo were just close friends. Now, however, their relationship was quietly changing. But the only man Mi Duo loved was Xia Hao. Xia Hao accepted Mi Duo's suggestion to use microfilms to promote the new jewelry. Xia Hao decided to cross over and play the male lead, while Gao Wen would play the female lead. On the set, Mi Duo was injured on the head by a ladder while trying to save Xia Hao. Xia Hao rushed Mi Duo to the hospital. At that moment, Lei Jie, who was missing Mi Duo, called, but Xia Hao answered the phone. Xia Hao told Lei Jie about Mi Duo's injury. After hearing the news, Lei Jie rushed to the hospital. When he pushed open the door of the hospital room, he saw Xia Hao taking care of Mi Duo. At that moment, he was very hesitant, saddened. He chose to leave the hospital room silently. Xia Hao stayed by Mi Duo's side as she lay in a coma. He had always thought that Mi Duo had ulterior motives for saving him. He immediately asked Mi Duo why she saved him. People's actions are motivated by the exchange of benefits. He didn't want anyone to risk their life for no reason. Xia Hao asked Mi Duo what she really wanted. However, the simple and kind Mi Duo taught the self-interested Xia Hao a lesson. She said that there were many things in this world that could not be exchanged for profit. Xia Hao began to doubt his outlook on life. He confidently asked his assistant if he had noticed that he was very suspicious. Lei Jie waited until Xia Hao left before entering the ward to visit Mi Duo. In her sleep, Mi Duo dreams about the car accident she was in. Lei Jie comforts her, feeling very sorry for her. He says that from now on, the most important thing is for Mi Duo to be happy. If Mi Duo is hurt, he promises to be there for her right away. They are friends, and he will not let anything hurt their friendship. Lei Jie says these words against his heart, but he still cannot let go of his love for Mi Duo. On the set, Gao Wen and the director had a disagreement. In a fit of anger, She put the jewelry that was supposed to be used for filming into her bag. When she left the set, she was chased by reporters waiting outside. In a panic, Gao Wen got into Lei Jie's car. The two of them went to a restaurant, where Gao Wen asked Lei Jie how much he would charge her for being her bodyguard for a day. Lei Jie acted as if he didn't care about money. He then took Gao Wen to an arcade to play claw machines and even speed on the highway. Without the glamour of stardom, Gao Wen had a great time. Watching this honest and straightforward man, Gao Wen's feelings for him began to change. Lei Jie was startled by her sudden action. He warned Gao Wen that he wasn't a frivolous man. Gao Wen laughed and said she had just picked up the bag and wasn't trying to kiss him. Lei Jie relaxed after hearing her explanation. At that moment, the jewelry used for filming fell out of the car. Both Gao Wen and the responsible person, Lu Sisi, were heavily questioned over the jewelry necklace. The kind-hearted Mi Duo, fearless of hardship, finally found the truth in the surveillance footage and cleared Gao Wen and Lu Sisi of all suspicion. Mi Duo returned the recovered jewelry necklace to Xia Hao. However, Xia Hao insisted on firing Lu Sisi. Mi Duo said that Xia Hao had probably never been humble in his life. Therefore, he had never cared about the feelings of a lowly employee. But even the most insignificant position by your side might be someone else's cherished hope. You can dismiss someone with just one word, but those who want to stay might have to put in several times, or even dozens of times, more effort than you. And for someone who works so hard, all you need to say is "I believe in you." Perhaps that person would feel that their entire life is filled with hope. Mi Duo's words left Xia Hao deep in thought. At the company meeting, Xia Hao, for the first time ever, did not fire Lu Sisi. This time, he received warm greetings from the company employees. Filled with confusion, Xia Hao asked his assistant again what was going on. The assistant said that it might be because everyone felt that he had become much kinder after helping that employee earlier. In the past, when such a responsibility issue arose in the company, he would always follow the rules and fire the person. This was the first time he had not held the employee accountable for their mistake. Photos of Gao Wen and Lei Jie out having fun were snapped by reporters. She found Xia Hao, and the two decided to publicly announce their fake relationship to boost jewelry sales. At the press conference, Mi Duo leaned against a pillar. Looking dejected, Xia Hao invited Mi Duo to dance. Mi Duo confessed her feelings to Xia Hao but was rejected. As she turned around, Lei Jie appeared before her. Lei Jie hugged her and prepared to leave the awkward press conference. He kept his promise to Mi Duo. As long as Mi Duo needed him, he would be there for her. He would always be by Mi Duo's side. He was willing to bury his feelings for Mi Duo in his heart. Lei Jie appeared very strong on the surface, but inside he was suffering greatly. He hoped that Mi Duo would stay away from Xia Hao. Xia Hao set the alarm for Mi Duo in the morning and took the day off for her. Mi Duo shouted that she was going to be late. In reality, everything was under Lei Jie's control. He even washed all of Mi Duo's clothes for her outing. After being heartbroken, Mi Duo regained her energy. Now, her work was not just about Xia Hao. It was more about carrying her dream of becoming a diamond designer. Mi Duo insisted on going to work, but Lei Jie insisted on keeping her home. Lei Jie said he had also taken the day off to stay home with Mi Duo. Facing Lei Jie's playful smile, Mi Duo had no choice but to give up going to work. The next morning, Mi Duo received a call from Lu Sisi at the company. She immediately shared some good news with Mi Duo. When she went to deliver documents, Xia Hao specifically asked her where Mi Duo had gone. Xia Hao was curious to see that Mi Duo, who usually worked late into the night, wasn't there. He immediately asked his subordinate why Mi Duo hadn't come to work for 3 days. Lu Sisi quickly said that Mi Duo was sick. Xia Hao said sternly that being sick doesn't mean you can skip work. The employee handbook clearly states that you can only take leave with a doctor's note. Xia Hao told his subordinate to contact Mi Duo immediately and tell her to come to work. Mi Duo must report to him as soon as she returns. Lei Jie overheard Lu Sisi and Mi Duo's conversation. He knew that Mi Duo could no longer contain her desire to see Xia Hao, so he washed Mi Duo's clothes again. This time, Mi Duo insisted on going to work even if she had to wear her pajamas. Seeing this, Lei Jie pretended to give Mi Duo some advice. He said that Gao Wen understood men well, which was why she was able to get close to Xia Hao. Lei Jie then shared a series of experiences on how to pursue men. However, His real purpose was to get Mi Duo away from Xia Hao. He then told Mi Duo to quit her job. Mi Duo was stunned to hear this. Lei Jia immediately said it was just pretend. He told Mi Duo to listen if she wanted to win. The next day, Mi Duo handed Xia Hao her resignation letter. Xia Hao refused to accept her resignation for personal reasons. Mi Duo persisted and handed the resignation letter to Xia Hao again. However, this time Xia Hao's attitude ruined Lei Jia's plan. Xia Hao angrily tore up Mi Duo's resignation letter. At that moment, Lei Jia was immersed in joy. When he saw Mi Duo's expression, he immediately understood what had happened. He felt an indescribable sense of regret. Gao Wen invited Mi Duo to attend an event she was hosting with Xia Hao. Xia Hao was surprised to see Mi Duo at the party. He stubbornly believed that Mi Duo was approaching Gao Wen for some ulterior motive. Xia Hao said that he hated women who approached him with ulterior motives. He advised Mi Duo not to overestimate herself. Xia Hao's misunderstanding made Mi Duo feel very depressed. She picked up her wine glass and drank continuously. Before long, she got herself drunk. Mi Duo mistakenly gets into Xia Hao's car, thinking it is a taxi. Xia Hao drives home and discovers Mi Duo lying in the back seat. He questions Mi Duo about what she is doing. Mi Duo gives him money for the fare. Seeing that Mi Duo is drunk, Xia Hao has no choice but to take her back to his place. He didn't expect Mi Duo to lose all her inhibitions after drinking. Mi Duo immediately rushed in front of him and started fighting with him. Then she pushed Xia Hao onto the bed. Seeing Mi Duo sleeping soundly, Xia Hao had mixed feelings. He thought of how Mi Duo had saved him without regard for her own safety. He believed that relationships between people were not always based on self-interest. Such an optimistic and positive girl was quietly changing Xia Hao. Lei Jia was very angry when he saw that Mi Duo had not come home all night. He swore to teach Mi Duo a lesson. He kept calling Mi Duo. Mi Duo was finally woken up by the ringing phone. Lei Jia brought Mi Duo clothes and cosmetics. Mi Duo looked like a lovesick girl and told Lei Jia that she had slept in Xia Hao's bed last night. Lei Jia was so angry he almost died on the spot. His beloved girl had slept with another man, how suffocating. But Mi Duo's next words relaxed Lei Jia. When she woke up, her clothes were still on. Mi Duo said that she felt very uncomfortable because Xia Hao wasn't home. Lei Jia acted like a parent and began lecturing Mi Duo. Xia Hao was going to South Korea to attend a jewelry design conference. He decided to let Gao Wen accompany him. Mi Duo was still brooding over the fact that Xia Hao and Gao Wen were going to South Korea on a trip. Lei Jia took the opportunity to say that he knew of a particularly fun place nearby. Mi Duo immediately asked where it was. Lei Jia was full of enthusiasm and started preparing for the trip. Mi Duo told him that she was going to accompany Xia Hao on his business trip. Seeing Mi Duo's excited expression, Lei Jia felt very uncomfortable. Mi Duo accompanied Xia Hao to South Korea on a business trip as Gao Wen's assistant. Due to the unfamiliar environment and not understanding the Korean language, Mi Duo felt very lonely. Feeling helpless, she called Lei Jia again. She complained that she wished Lei Jia was with her. Lei Jia asked her if she didn't want him anymore. After hanging up, he immediately bought a plane ticket to see Mi Duo. He flew to South Korea full of expectations, but before he could finish speaking, Mi Duo hung up on him. It turned out that Mi Duo had noticed Xia Hao standing outside a barbecue restaurant for a long time. After Xia Hao left, Mi Duo walked into the restaurant. After some inquiries, she learned the story of how Xia Hao and his mother had been separated for over 20 years. The kind-hearted Mi Duo decided to help Xia Hao reunite with his mother. Lei Jia found the hotel where Mi Duo was staying and happened to run into Gao Wen. Gao Wen was very grateful to Lei Jia for his help last time. She invited Lei Jia to dinner, but ended up getting herself drunk. After settling Gao Wen down, Lei Jia bumped into Mi Duo in the hotel corridor. When he saw Mi Duo coming out of Xia Hao's room, he was very angry. Lei Jia asked Mi Duo what she was doing in Xia Hao's room in the middle of the night. Mi Duo asked him what he was doing in Gao Wen's room. Lei Jia angrily rebuked Mi Duo for developing a relationship with Xia Hao too quickly. The two had a heated argument. Lei Jia arrogantly demanded that Mi Duo accompany him on his trip. Mi Duo said she had something important to do tomorrow. The most important thing in her mind was to help Xia Hao reunite with his mother. She pretended to introduce Xia Hao to a delicious snack shop. She then took Xia Hao to his mother's barbecue restaurant. Xia Hao suddenly flew into a rage at Mi Duo. He warned her to stay out of his family affairs. "I only kept you at the company because you were useful to me. You're just a tool I hired." Mi Duo was deeply hurt by his words. In a low mood, she called Lei Jie to take her out of South Korea. Lei Jie embraced Mi Duo tenderly. Xia Hao couldn't control his longing for his mother. He walked into his mother's barbecue restaurant once again. Mother and son finally reunited in tears. Just as Mi Duo was preparing to return to China with Lei Jie, Xia Hao's phone rang. Mi Duo jumped up excitedly. She ran off, leaving Lei Jie alone on the side of the road. Xia Hao and company manager Lin were half-brothers. However, their relationship was strained. Wu Dashan had been scheming to secure Xia Hao's position as president. Taking advantage of Xia Hao's absence, he developed a new project and obtained the chairman's approval without authorization. Wu Dashing used his father's influence to suppress Xia Hao. Xia Hao could only endure the humiliation in silence. Mi Duo overheard her colleagues discussing the matter. She handed him some documents to sign, but the dejected Xia Hao didn't give Mi Duo a friendly look. Despite this, the kind and innocent Mi Duo persistently encouraged Xia Hao not to give up. "As long as you don't mind me being a bother, as long as you don't think I'm stupid, I'll always stay by your side. Even if I'm not physically with you, my heart will always be cheering for you." Mi Duo studied jewelry design diligently. She wanted to participate in the design of the new product. If she was lucky enough to be selected, she could help Xia Hao solidify his position in the company. However, the malicious Wu Dashan used his authority to have Lu Sisi secretly investigate Mi Duo's background. Lu Sisi, who was of low status, chose to follow Wu Dashan's orders for personal gain. Just as she was alone at home reviewing Mi Duo's information, a group of thugs burst in. It turns out that Lu Sisi's boyfriend had borrowed money from loan sharks to gamble. Seeing the thugs smash her home, Lu Sisi is both sad and helpless. She asks Mi Duo for money and tells her about her situation. But the next day, Lu Sisi hears her colleagues laughing at her behind her back. She blames it all on Mi Duo and turns against her. No matter how Mi Duo explained, Lu Sisi believed that she had betrayed her. She raged at Mi Duo and stormed off. Mi Duo picked up the information on the floor and discovered that Lu Sisi had been investigating her. Moreover, the plan she had made was still in Lu Sisi's hands. Mi Duo was at a loss and immediately sought help from Lei Jie. After Lei Jie reminded her, Mi Duo remembered that she had given the plan to Wu Dashan. Mi Duo told Lei Jie that Wu Dashan and Xia Hao didn't get along well. Lei Jie told Mi Duo to go find Lu Sisi first to find out what was going on. Lu Sisi couldn't get the money, so she had to drink with the debt collectors. Before long, she ran to the bathroom and threw up. At that moment, Mi Duo called her, and she immediately thought of a good plan. Unaware of the situation, Mi Duo arrived at the scene. She hated what was happening and, without hesitation, poured the wine on Jack's face. Lu Sisi's boyfriend then broke Jack's head with a wine bottle. Taking advantage of the chaos, Mi Duo dragged Lu Sisi out. However, Lu Sisi did not thank Mi Duo for saving her. She told Mi Duo not to pretend to care about her anymore. Lu Sisi's heartlessness did not change Mi Duo's loyalty. Just as her colleagues were gossiping about Lu Sisi behind her back, Mi Duo scolded them harshly. Lu Sisi, who was passing by, realized that she had wronged Mi Duo. However, with her strong sense of self-esteem, she did not want to have anything to do with Mi Duo. She returned the plan to Mi Duo and told Wu Dashan that Mi Duo was not suspicious. Mi Duo waited for Lei Jie to pick her up from work in the parking lot. Jack brought several men to take revenge on Mi Duo. Xia Hao happened to witness this scene. He grabbed Mi Duo and put her in his car. Playing the hero, Lei Jie arrived and saw this scene. After Xia Hao left, Lei Jie went up and started fighting with the thugs. Mi Duo was injured and unconscious, so Xia Hao took her home. Xia Hao asked Mi Duo why she got involved with the thugs. Mi Duo didn't want to reveal Lu Sisi's secret, because this matter involved other people. She couldn't say anything. While Xia Hao was worried about Mi Duo's safety, his secretary called. He just remembered that he had to meet with a client from South Korea. Before leaving, he told Mi Duo to wait for him to return. Mi Duo noticed that Xia Hao's blanket smelled nice. She waited until late, but Xia Hao didn't come back, so she called Xia Hao, but Gao Wen answered. In that moment, Mi Duo, who had been briefly swept away by happiness, suddenly realized that Xia Hao and Gao Wen were the couple, so she forgot what Xia Hao said before he left and left. After finishing his business, Xia Hao bought champagne and hurried home. When he found that no one was home, he was very angry. The next day, as soon as he got to work, Xia Hao called Mi Duo to his office and scolded her. Mi Duo thought he was on a date with Gao Wen, so she left first. Xia Hao said that when someone promises him something, they must do it. Mi Duo felt that Xia Hao really wanted her to wait for him and couldn't help but feel ecstatic. To thank Xia Hao for saving her, she invited him to dinner. Xia Hao didn't seem to care, but he was secretly pleased. He didn't even know that this silly girl was falling for him. Mi Duo carefully dressed up at home for her date that night. In order to ruin Mi Duo and Xia Hao's date, Lei Jia, he deliberately suggests that Mi Duo wear ugly makeup. Gao Wen sends Mi Duo a text message asking her to meet up. In order to go on a date with someone else, she asks Mi Duo to book a hotel apartment for her. This makes Mi Duo suspicious. She feels that there is something strange about the relationship between Gao Wen and Xia Hao. She orders Lei Jia to secretly follow Gao Wen to find out what is going on. Mi Duo is curious about the relationship between Xia Hao and Gao Wen. Xia Hao said he didn't want to mention anyone else's name at the moment. Lei Jia was discovered while following Gao Wen, but he cleverly covered his tracks. Through a meal together, Lei Jia learned that the man in front of him was Gao Wen's ex-boyfriend, and the two had plans to get back together. But in the restroom, Lei Jia overheard Gao Wen's ex-boyfriend talking to someone else. He suspected that the man had ulterior motives for getting back together with Gao Wen. He kindly warned Gao Wen to be careful. Back home, Lei Jia told Mi Duo what he had found out. At that moment, Mi Duo was immersed in the sweet dreams of love. Lei Jia was astonished to learn that she was in love. Mi Duo said she felt weak all over. Her heart was also beating very fast. It turned out that just a moment ago, Xia Hao had kissed Mi Duo without being able to control himself. Mi Duo was relieved that Gao Wen had reconciled with her ex-boyfriend. She believed that Xia Hao definitely wouldn't like Gao Wen. Otherwise, Xia Hao wouldn't have kissed her just now. Mi Duo never imagined that Xia Hao's attitude toward her was so inconsistent. She came happily to bring Xia Hao lunch. Xia Hao, however, told Mi Duo to forget what happened last night, since Mi Duo's appearance had completely disrupted his life. If this continues, Mi Duo will ruin all his plans. Xia Hao's erratic behavior left Mi Duo at a loss. Mi Duo didn't know that Wu Dashan had been keeping a close eye on Xia Hao. At his new product design meeting, Xia Hao stole the spotlight from him. Xia Hao once again defeated Wu Dashan and won his father's favor. This made Wu Dashan furious. He ordered his men to do everything in their power to win Mi Duo over. He was interested in everything Xia Hao had. At the victory celebration, Wu Dashan deliberately invited Mi Duo to dance to provoke Xia Hao. Although Xia Hao was dancing with Gao Wen, his eyes were fixed on Mi Duo. This made Wu Dashan even more certain that Mi Duo was Xia Hao's weakness. He forcibly dragged Mi Duo away from the party. Mi Duo confronted Wu Dashan, demanding to know what he intended to do to Xia Hao. Wu Dashan said that if she didn't want anything to happen to Xia Hao, she had to obey him. The innocent Mi Duo obediently got into Wu Dashan's car. At that moment, Lei Jia, who was on his way to pick up Mi Duo, noticed something amiss on the phone. Drunk, Wu Dashan took out his hatred for Xia Hao on Mi Duo. He wants to destroy everything Xia Hao has. Lei Jia has installed a tracking device on Mi Duo's cell phone. He arrives in time and beats Wu Dashan severely. Lei Jia holds Mi Duo tightly in his arms. He takes Mi Duo back to his car and immediately loses his temper. "Didn't I tell you to wait for me? Why do you always run around?" This time, Lei Jia is really angry. While outwardly scolding Mi Duo, he was once again enduring immense pain inside. However, after scolding her, Lei Jia would still care for Mi Duo as always, because deep down, Mi Duo was the woman he loved most in the world. After his plan failed, Wu Dashan found Gao Wen's ex-boyfriend. He instructed Han Bin to sabotage the relationship between Xia Hao and Gao Wen and make the scandal as big as possible. Han Bin immediately found Gao Wen's agent. He wanted to use the photos of him dating Gao Wen to extort money from her. The two ended up parting ways in an ugly manner. To keep Gao Wen away from Han Bin, the agent secured her a role in a Hollywood film. He also told Gao Wen that if she didn't leave Han Bin, all the losses would be compensated by Han Bin. After much thought, Gao Wen decided to break up with Han Bin. Early the next morning, photos of Gao Wen and Han Bin at a hotel appeared on the front pages of all the entertainment media. The agent told Gao Wen to hurry up and meet Xia Hao so that the rumors could be quelled. At this moment, Han Bin called and lied that he had taken sleeping pills to trick Gao Wen into coming over. Han Bin's goal was to let the entertainment reporters take pictures of Gao Wen and himself together. When Gao Wen anxiously rushed to the bar, she found Han Bin safe and sound. Han Bin had deceived her, so Gao Wen decided to leave. However, she heard the voices of reporters outside the room. In a panic, Gao Wen had no choice but to ask Mi Duo and Lei Jie for help. In order not to reveal his true intentions, Han Bin had no choice but to cooperate with Mi Duo and leave the bar together. The reporters came up empty-handed, and Gao Wen narrowly escaped the ordeal. Facing the reporters' questions, Gao Wen responded calmly. Han Bin missed the golden opportunity to bring Gao Wen down and was harshly scolded by Wu Dashan. Xia Hao confronted Mi Duo, asking why she didn't tell him sooner about Gao Wen and Han Bin. Mi Duo explained that it was Gao Wen's business and it wasn't appropriate for her to interfere. Besides, what exactly was their relationship? In a moment of desperation, Xia Hao blurted out what he had been holding back for a long time. What I care about isn't Gao Wen. What I care about is you. Xia Hao's confession left Mi Duo overjoyed. Mi Duo shared the good news with Lei Jie. The drunk Lei Jie sobered up immediately. This time, he felt completely hopeless. Han Bin wanted to use Gao Wen and his past to get money. After his plan failed, he blackmailed Xia Hao with nude photos he had taken of Gao Wen a few years ago. Xia Hao agreed to pay Han Bin 10 million yuan for the photos. Then he punched Han Bin hard. After much consideration, he told Gao Wen about Han Bin's blackmail. This was a blow to Gao Wen. She couldn't imagine that her lover would betray her for money. She was so angry that she told Xia Hao not to pay Han Bin a penny. Han Bin didn't get any money from Xia Hao, but he wasn't angry. He pretended that nothing had happened and continued to deceive Gao Wen. However, Gao Wen, who despised him, wouldn't give him a penny. Han Bin was angry and ashamed, and he swore to take revenge on Gao Wen. The next day, Gao Wen's nude photos began circulating widely online. Advertisers and producers quickly terminated their contracts with her. As the spokesperson for a jewelry company, this incident angered the shareholders greatly. The shareholders demanded that Xia Hao and Gao Wen terminate their contract. However, Xia Hao firmly agreed to this decision. Wu Dashan soon learned of the situation. He believed this was the perfect opportunity to retaliate against Xia Hao. He was discharged from the hospital early and returned to the company. He opposed Xia Hao's decision and proposed a vote to decide Gao Wen's future. The decision to terminate the contract with Gao Wen would be made by a majority vote. The shareholders all agreed with his approach. Wu Dashan finally seized this opportunity. He told his father, Xiao Zhendong, about the situation. Xiao Zhendong rushed back from abroad overnight and ordered Xia Hao to terminate the contract with Gao Wen. Wu Dashan pretended to be concerned and told his father not to get angry. Xia Hao warned Wu Dashan not to provoke Gao Wen, but Wu Dashan said that many people in the company disliked Gao Wen. Xia Hao felt uneasy upon hearing this. He was afraid that Wu Dashan would harm Mi Duo. He told Mi Duo to resign immediately and leave the company, but Mi Duo firmly refused to leave, because this company was her dream, and she wanted to stay. Mi Duo thinks it's because she's not good enough, so she studies jewelry design even harder. She hopes that one day she can help Xia Hao. Not only that, she also asks Lei Jie to teach her how to fall in love. The two go to a food stall to eat skewers and practice. Lei Jie deliberately lets Mi Duo feed him and wipe his mouth. He also asks Mi Duo to link arms with him and practice walking down the street. Being with Mi Duo feels so wonderful that Lei Jie finds it difficult to control himself. Wu Dashan deliberately provoked Lu Cici's hatred towards Mi Duo. He deliberately let Mi Duo replace Lu Cici as the representative of the design department to attend the new product design meeting with him. When Mi Duo followed Wu Dashan into the conference room, Xia Hao felt extremely uneasy. Xia Hao hurriedly ended the meeting and cancelled his other plans. He went to the store and pretended to bump into Mi Duo. Mi Duo happily followed Xia Hao around the store to do research. She spotted a necklace, and Xia Hao enthusiastically helped her put it on. This scene reminded Xia Hao of his past relationship with his ex-girlfriend. It was precisely because of that relationship that he believed that all relationships between people were based on self-interest. This instantly made him feel irritable and also embarrassed Mi Duo. At the new product design meeting, Xia Hao deliberately criticized Mi Duo's design as poorly made, and said that if it was still unsatisfactory, she would have to leave the project team. After returning home, Mi Duo got inspiration with Lei Jia's help and quickly finished revising her work. At the new product design decision meeting, Xia Hao asked all departments to vote on the main design. After reviewing all the design proposals, all departments unanimously agreed that the seventh design was the most innovative. Neither Xia Hao nor Wu Dashan had seen this design before. In fact, this design was Mi Duo's. Xia Hao was afraid that Wu Dashan would take it out on Mi Duo. He asked Mi Duo if she would give up on him because of someone else. Mi Duo said she would not give up on Xia Hao and wanted to stay at the company. Xia Hao thought Mi Duo did not love herself enough. Mi Duo could not defend herself, and the two ended up parting on bad terms. Wu Dashan sought to stir up resentment among the design department employees toward Mi Duo. He organized a celebratory banquet specifically for Mi Duo. Rumors quickly spread among the design department employees. At the banquet, colleagues mocked Mi Duo with cold remarks. Mi Duo, furious, left the hotel early. Xia Hao, unable to sit still at the office, decided to attend the banquet. However, when he arrived at the venue, the gathering had already ended. Wu Dashan sat alone in a private room drinking in silence. When he saw Xia Hao, he mocked him. This time, Xia Hao responded forcefully to Wu Dashan. He warned Wu Dashan not to involve Mi Duo in their affairs. Mi Duo returned home feeling depressed. She analyzed Wu Dashan's actions to Lei Jia. She told Lei Jia that Xia Hao had broken up with her. Lei Jia silently accompanied Mi Duo until Mi Duo drank too much and fell asleep. He finally felt at ease. At this point, Xia Hao, who was worried about Mi Duo, drove to her house. He called her, but a man's voice answered the phone. Xia Hao, who had been hurt in his previous relationship, couldn't help but think the worst. Xia Hao suspected that there was a third person between Mi Duo and himself. He called Gao Wen to the bar to drink and chat with him. Gao Wen promised Xia Hao that he would help him solve this problem. In order to bring Xia Hao and Mi Duo together, Gao Wen arranged for them to go singing together. Gao Wen was unaware of Mi Duo and Lei Jia's living arrangement. Lei Jia only found out that day that he was there to bring Mi Duo and Xia Hao together. As Gao Wen's temporary boyfriend, Lei Jia couldn't express his feelings. While Lei Jia and Gao Wen were singing, Xia Hao finally asked the question he had been holding back. Xia Hao asks Mi Duo who she was with that night. Mi Duo is overjoyed to hear that Xia Hao cares so much about her. Lei Jia watches the two of them laughing and talking and feels very bitter inside. He finally can't suppress his anger and explodes. He asks Gao Wen why he invited him here. Lei Jia says he can't play the fool in front of Xia Hao. Gao Wen immediately asked him if he liked Mi Duo. This time, Lei Jia completely lost control of his emotions. When he returned home, he was in a foul mood. When Mi Duo came back, she immediately asked Lei Jia about his relationship with Gao Wen. Lei Jia firmly stated that there was nothing between him and Gao Wen. Faced with Mi Duo's relentless questioning, Lei Jia finally spoke the truth. He said that he would only ever love Mi Duo and never any other woman. Mi Duo was so scared that she almost wet her pants. Lei Jia deeply regretted his rash confession to Mi Duo yesterday. He called Mi Duo, but the line was busy. It turned out that Mi Duo was talking to Xia Hao. Considering her relationship with Xia Hao and Lei Jia's confession last night, Mi Duo asked Lei Jia if she could move out and share a place with her colleagues. In order to cover up, Lei Jia chose to lie again. He said that yesterday's confession was just a joke. Mi Duo believed him and didn't mention moving out anymore. In order to forget his troubles, Lei Jia chose to work overtime nonstop. This way, he could minimize his encounters with Mi Duo. As long as Mi Duo was happy, he would quietly withdraw. However, things did not go as he wished. Mi Duo was hurt by Xia Hao once again. Wu Dashan failed to persuade Mi Duo, so he turned his attention to Lu Cece. Eager for success, Lu Cece followed Wu Dashan to meet the client. From then on, she embarked on a path with no return. The new product launch was about to conclude, and the name of the lead designer was about to be announced. Mi Duo, who was about to take the stage, was both nervous and excited. Everyone was stunned when they heard Lu Cece's name. Wu Dashan had secretly betrayed him. Xia Hao was ready to teach Wu Dashan a lesson, but Wu Dashan's threat once again made Xia Hao choose profit over Mi Duo. If my father found out about your relationship with Mi Duo, he would definitely be angry. Faced with Wu Dashan's provocation, Xia Hao felt a weakness he had never felt before. Mi Duo says she doesn't need the perks of being the lead designer. She also doesn't want the year-end bonus from the company. She only asks that her name be included in the design proposal. This new product design has cost Mi Duo countless days and nights. Xia Hao knows how important this design is to Mi Duo, but the client doesn't care who the designer is. Xia Hao's attitude leaves Mi Duo feeling disappointed. On her way home, she thinks of Lei Jie, who has always been kind to her. Xia Hao, torn inside, chased after Mi Duo to her home to explain, "The reason I want you to resign is because only then can we be together properly. Now the difficulties and pressures we're facing will disappear." Xia Hao pleaded with Mi Duo to believe him, but Mi Duo, still furious, couldn't hear Xia Hao's explanation. She made a decision and went back to process her resignation. This time, their relationship was truly over. After the breakup, Xia Hao was in agony. He took out all his anger on Wu Dashan and Lu Sisi. Meanwhile, Mi Duo spent every day sighing and lamenting. Lei Jie took Mi Duo out to cheer her up, but Mi Duo was still thinking about Xia Hao. This made Lei Jie feel very uncomfortable. Xia Hao's assistant Lin Yu secretly found Mi Duo. He told Mi Duo that Xia Hao had been in a bad mood every day for the past few days. Furthermore, Xia Hao cared a lot about Mi Duo's feelings. Mi Duo did not care about the title of chief designer. She worked hard to learn jewelry design just to prove to herself that she could achieve her dream of becoming a designer without relying on Xia Hao. Lin Yu also said that Xia Hao had gotten into a fight with Wu Dashan to protect Mi Duo. Mi Duo didn't want to let others use her to hurt Xia Hao anymore. She was persuaded by Lin Yu and agreed to return to work tomorrow. Back at the company, Wu Dashan continued to stir up trouble in front of Mi Duo. Xia Hao sacrificed Mi Duo for his own interests. Mi Duo said that she was only coming back for herself. She didn't want to get involved in the fight between Xia Hao and Wu Dashan. Wu Dashan, enraged, uttered threatening words. Mi Duo, unwilling to back down, confronted him, demanding to know what he wanted. At that moment, Wu Dashan's gaze turned cunning. He asked Mi Duo what would happen if Xia Hao found out she was living with Lei Jie. Mi Duo didn't know how to respond and hurriedly left the office. Wu Dashan picked up the phone and issued orders to the person on the other end. Mi Duo returned home and packed Lei Jie's belongings, telling him to move out. Lei Jie had no choice but to agree to Mi Duo's request. After his car drove away, Xia Hao came to Mi Duo's house. Wu Dashan never expected that the people he hired hadn't managed to take any photos of Mi Duo and Lei Jie living together. Instead, all the photos they took were of Mi Duo and Xia Hao looking affectionate. With nowhere to go, Lei Jie became a homeless person. Since the scandal involving explicit photos, all advertisers and producers had terminated their contracts with Gao Wen. Without a job, Gao Wen was in a desperate state. At this time, Lei Jie, as a good friend, stepped forward to help Gao Wen through the darkest period of her life. Unbeknownst to her, Gao Wen began to develop feelings for Lei Jie. She decided to take Lei Jie into her home. Gao Wen opened the refrigerator, but there was only one egg left. At that moment, she missed Lei Jie very much, so Gao Wen came up with a plan and sent a text message to Lei Jie, saying that the power was out at her house. Before long, Lei Jie rushed over. Gao Wen looked pitiful, hoping to win Lei Jie's sympathy. Lei Jie was worried about where to stay. He told Gao Wen that he had been kicked out by his landlord and was looking for a place to live. Gao Wen was very excited and asked him to move in with her. Lei Jie felt that it was inappropriate for a man and a woman to live together. Gao Wen immediately said that she didn't mind. Lei Jie moved into Gao Wen's home to live temporarily. However, what happened next was something he never expected. Lei Jie always kept his distance from Gao Wen, but in order not to hurt his female colleague's self-esteem, he pretended that Gao Wen was his girlfriend, and Gao Wen also played up their ambiguous relationship to the fullest. She didn't believe that she couldn't win Lei Jie over, so she launched a passionate pursuit of him. Seeing her plan fail, Gao Wen immediately called Mi Duo. She said she wanted to spend the night with Lei Jie to contribute to humanity. Gao Wen wore a sexy mini skirt and prepared to watch a candlelit movie with Lei Jie. Lei Jie was nervous and asked her why she wanted to turn off the lights. Gao Wen said gently that it would be more romantic without the lights on. Lei Jie controlled himself and made an excuse to go back to his room to rest, escaping Gao Wen's clutches. After Xia Hao and Mi Duo got back together, he exercised his sovereignty as her boyfriend to the extreme. He told Mi Duo that she must notify him whenever she participates in activities with men. If he couldn't accompany her, she wasn't allowed to attend such events. Additionally, she must immediately inform him if any male colleagues or clients attempt to develop a relationship with her outside of work. Furthermore, she must sign in at his office every day during work hours. Xiaohao's domineering manner made Mi Duo, who was in love, very happy. The couple, in the midst of a passionate romance, went out to dinner at a restaurant. Xiaohao was startled by the sudden appearance of a woman in front of him. He even let go of Mi Duo's hand. When Yiqi turned her head, Xiaohao's mind was filled with memories of the past. The two of them had once been a very close couple, but Yiqi had ultimately chosen money over Xiaohao. She had come back this time with the intention of reconciling with Xiaohao. She walked up to Xiaohao and Mi Duo and boldly revealed her identity. Xiaohao stopped Mi Duo from greeting Yiqi and stormed off. He never expected Yiqi would start clinging to him from that point on. On the way home with Mi Duo, Yiqi's phone rang, but Xiaohao ignored it completely. When he returned home, the phone kept ringing non-stop. Yiqi confidently believed that Xiaohao still loved her. The next day, Yiqi went to the company to talk business with Xiaohao. Xiaohao completely ignored her and chased her away. Yiqi confidently said, "You'll come looking for me." It turned out that she and Wu Dashan had each had their own motives and reached an agreement. She was responsible for the behind-the-scenes planning, while Wu Dashan was responsible for the onstage performance. Yiqi's plan was approved by the company's board of directors overnight. Xiaohao quickly called a board meeting to question the plan. Wu Dashan proposed a vote. Many directors agreed. Xiaohao was isolated and helpless. He had no choice but to arrange a meeting with Yiqi, but he didn't know that Yiqi had called Gao Wen. Gao Wen asked Lei Jie to accompany her as her assistant. Before she could finish speaking, Yiqi's old friend Xiaohao walked in. The scene was very awkward. During dinner, Yiqi deliberately made various hints to Gao Wen to make her understand the relationship between herself and Xiaohao. Lei Jie's first instinct told her that Yiqi and Xiaohao had a special relationship. Xiaohao didn't want to explain anything. He immediately told Yiqi not to go too far. However, Yiqi's next words made Xiaohao relax his guard and believe her. "If I hadn't let go of the past, why would I come back to sponsor your ex-girlfriend? This time, I'm truly sincere about wanting to collaborate with you and give us a chance to start over. At least let me be your friend. I can guarantee that we'll only talk about work, and I won't interfere in your personal life." Yiqi's fake sincerity deceived Xiaohao. However, Xiaohao didn't want Mi Duo to be responsible for Yiqi's project. His decision to replace Mi Duo left Yiqi with new doubts. Yiqi pretended to ask Mi Duo out for coffee. The innocent and kind Mi Duo was completely defenseless against Yiqi. She told Yiqi that Xiaohao seemed cold but was actually very easy to get along with. If she wanted to get in touch with him, she might need to be a little more proactive. She also said that he was a bit domineering and that it was best to listen to him. Mi Duo told Yiqi everything she knew about Xiaohao. Yiqi sensed that Mi Duo and Xiaohao had a special relationship. At Gao Wen's comeback party, Yiqi tries to test the relationship between Xiaohao and Mi Duo. She deliberately asks Xiaohao to be her date. Xiaohao immediately leaves Yiqi and walks towards Mi Duo. This makes Yiqi jealous. She pretends to greet Gao Wen and deliberately spills red wine on Mi Duo. Xiaohao knew that Yiqi did it on purpose, so he glared at her fiercely and quickly accompanied Mi Duo to change her clothes. Seeing how nervous Xiaohao was, Yiqi confirmed her guess. Everything she did was seen by Gao Wen. As Mi Duo's good friend, Gao Wen stepped forward at this moment. She warned Yiqi to stay away from Xiaohao and Mi Duo in the future. It was okay to bully her, but not her friends. Gao Wen was a girl who dared to do what she believed in. On the way back, she kindly reminded Mi Duo that she hadn't realized that there was something wrong with Yiqi. Yiqi had come back this time to deliberately get close to Mi Duo. At this moment, Xiaohao planned to have a serious talk with Yiqi. Yiqi was confident that the way Xiaohao looked at Mi Duo was the same way he had looked at her back then. Xiaohao said that Mi Duo was different from Yiqi. In Yiqi's eyes, feelings were just a business deal. If the investment failed, Yiqi could walk away, but Mi Duo couldn't. The Yiqi of the past had abandoned Xiaohao for the sake of interests, but Mi Duo's appearance had gradually healed Xiaohao's emotional wounds. He would never allow Yiqi to do anything harmful to Mi Duo. His attitude toward Yiqi was extremely firm. Yiqi cried and said that he had divorced his wife to win Xiaohao's sympathy. Xiaohao firmly stated that he was not interested in Yiqi's current life. He warned Yiqi not to interfere with his private life. Yi Chi felt a despair he had never felt before and crouched on the ground, hugging his head and crying. Gao Wen boldly confessed her feelings to Lei Jie. Yi Chi also decided to try to let go of Mi Duo and date Gao Wen. At the Charity Foundation's ribbon-cutting ceremony, Gao Wen appeared with Lei Jie on her arm. Mi Duo witnessed her best friend kissing Gao Wen in public and felt very uncomfortable. She knew in her heart that she and Lei Jie could never play and joke around like they used to. Xia Hao's rejection made Yi Chi resentful. She took all her revenge on Mi Duo. Mi Duo handed the shooting plan to Yi Chi. Yi Chi deliberately scratched her arm. Lu Sisi happened to see Yi Chi's injury and hurriedly accompanied her to the hospital. Yi Chi didn't know that her injury had caused a rift between Xia Hao and Mi Duo. At the filming location, Yi Chi questions Mi Duo about the shooting plan she brought. Mi Duo discovers that the plan in Yi Chi's hand is not the one she brought. She suspects that Yi Chi is deliberately framing her, and the two argue. Wu Dashan finds out about this. He understands that Yi Chi must have been behind it and asked Lu Sisi to cooperate in carrying out the plan. Not only that, Wu Dashan even complains to his father. Mi Duo was demoted by Xiao Zhendong and assigned to work as a salesperson in a store. Xia Hao didn't believe that Mi Duo would make such a low-level mistake, so he went to find Yi Chi after work. He happened to see Yi Chi and her ex-husband arguing in the office. Xia Hao didn't know the reason for their argument. When he saw the man hit Yi Chi, he rushed forward to stop him. The man said angrily, "What's wrong with me hitting my own wife?" Xia Hao grabbed the man's clothes and said that no matter what their relationship was, he couldn't hit a woman. Yi Chi pretended to be pitiful and asked Xia Hao to let go of her ex-husband. Xia Hao asked her to help him figure out what was going on with Mi Duo. He didn't think Mi Duo would make such a simple mistake. Yi Chi was jealous when she saw how much Xia Hao cared about Mi Duo. She told Xia Hao that her body was covered in injuries from her ex-husband. It was because her heart only loved Xia Hao. However, Xia Hao politely refused Yi Chi. After leaving Yi Chi's home, Xia Hao went on a date with Mi Duo. What should have been a sweet date ended in a heated argument due to Yi Chi's interference. Mi Duo told Xia Hao that Yi Chi had injured her arm herself. She thought Yi Chi was very calculating. During the day, she had falsely accused Mi Duo of messing up the plan. Now she agreed to help Mi Duo clear things up, so she must have some ulterior motive. Mi Duo's last few words made Xia Hao furious. She thought it was terrible to hurt oneself to win over a classmate's girlfriend. Xia Hao witnessed Yi Chi being beaten by her ex-husband. He believed that jealousy had made Mi Duo no longer innocent, but Mi Duo explained to him that Yi Chi was truly deceiving him. Yi Chi had actually injured her arm during filming. The two ended up parting ways in a heated argument. The next day, Xia Hao verified the details of Yi Chi's injury with Lu Sisi, but Lu Sisi did not reveal the truth to him. Xia Hao believed that Mi Duo had changed. He didn't know that all of this was orchestrated by Wu Dashan behind the scenes. Wu Dashan instructed Yi Chi to take off Xia Hao's pants over the next few days. Yi Chi immediately promised to handle it. She then pretended to get drunk at a bar. Xia Hao rushed over to take her home. Yi Chi feigned drunkenness and spoke of her inner pain. She pretended to be pitiful and said that she had betrayed herself back then in order to get Xia Hao back into the company. She was willing to endure her ex-husband's domestic violence, but now he had gained his freedom, and Xia Hao had fallen in love with someone else. Yi Chi begged Xia Hao to give her another chance. She even revealed a secret from back then. Yi Chi asked Xia Hao to go back and ask his father why she had married someone else back then. Yi Chi's superb acting skills successfully moved Xia Hao, but Xia Hao was now deeply in love with Mi Duo. He firmly stated that he cannot betray Mi Duo. In order to help a girl who was about to get married design something special, Mi Duo came to Xia Hao's house to look for her old design drafts, but she heard Yi Chi saying ambiguous things to Xia Hao. It turned out that Yi Chi had not been deterred by Xia Hao's rejection. She used the excuse that her ex-husband was harassing her to try to win Xia Hao's favor again. Mi Duo was shocked to discover that Yi Chi was Xia Hao's ex-girlfriend and fled in panic. Xia Hao heard the commotion and chased after her. Mi Duo, heartbroken, clung to Lei Jie and cried loudly. At that moment, Lei Jie picked up Mi Duo and comforted her. Every time Mi Duo was hurt, only Lei Jie could give her a sense of security. Xia Hao came to find Mi Duo and encountered Lei Jie, who was about to leave. Xia Hao misunderstood Lei Jie, and the two men got into a fight. Lei Jie didn't back down and punched Xia Hao right back. After listening to Lei Jie's advice, Xia Hao realized that continuing his relationship with Yi Chi would only hurt Mi Duo. He learned his lesson and told Ji Chi that they should never see each other again. I am very grateful for what you did for me 5 years ago, but we can't go back to the way we were. Xia Hao left heartlessly, leaving Yi Chi completely desperate. Wu Dashan had been secretly investigating Mi Duo. The photos he took this time made him suspect that Mi Duo and Lei Jia had an unusual relationship. Under what circumstances were Mi Duo and Lei Jia photographed in a way that could be used to make a big deal out of it? It turned out that to celebrate Mi Duo and Xia Hao reconciling, the four of them went to an amusement park to have fun. Lei Jia habitually served Mi Duo and looked at her with eyes full of love. The photos of the four on their date were taken by someone sent by Wu Dashan. The next day, the newspaper exposed the rumors of Gao Wen and Xia Hao reigniting their old romance. To clear up the rumors, Lin Yu urged Xia Hao to announce his relationship with Mi Duo. However, Xia Hao believed that now was not the right time to announce it. He didn't want Mi Duo to get involved in such a messy situation. Wu Dashan once again spoke ill of Xia Hao in front of his father. Xiao Zhendong decided to interfere in Xia Hao's love life once again. He had the store manager temporarily assign Mi Duo to work as a server at a charity auction. The manager intentionally had Mi Duo pour wine for Xia Hao and then knocked over the tray she was holding. All eyes in the room were on Mi Duo. Mi Duo can only leave in embarrassment. Xia Hao knows that this is all his father's doing. He makes a firm promise to Mi Duo. I promise I won't let anyone, not even my father, insult you like this again. I need you to stand by my side and face this together, okay? Xia Hao decides to let Mi Duo show off his necklace. He takes off the gift he gave Mi Duo when she was reborn, and puts the necklace up for auction tonight on Mi Duo's neck with his own hands. Lei Jia was worried that Mi Duo would use the excuse of making a phone call to run away. When he arrived at the dressing room, he found the gift he had given Mi Duo left in the box. Feeling deeply disappointed, he took the necklace. When Mi Duo took the stage to showcase the auction necklace, Xiao Zhendong was furious upon seeing it. He never expected his son to disregard the family's reputation for this woman. Yi Chi and Xia Hao competed to bid. In the end, Xia Hao won the auction with an overwhelming bid for the necklace named My Queen. He told Mi Duo not to take off the necklace. He believed the necklace had always belonged to Mi Duo. Xia Hao even kissed Mi Duo's hand in public. This also put an end to the rumors between him and Gao Wen. Back in the dressing room, Mi Duo found that the gift Lei Jia had given her was missing. Her nervous behavior about the necklace made Xia Hao suspicious. The necklace fell out of Lei Jia's pocket and was picked up by Gao Wen. She immediately recognized that the necklace belonged to Mi Duo. Lei Jia's behavior also confused Gao Wen, since Xia Hao and Mi Duo's relationship was made public. Mi Duo, the ugly duckling, has seen a sharp rise in public attention. Sales of the My Queen series necklaces have been booming. Fans flocked to the store to buy jewelry and request photos with Mi Duo. Mi Duo did her best to accommodate the customers' requests without affecting her work. All of this was reported to Xiao Zhendong by the store manager. Mi Duo's efforts pleased Xiao Zhendong. He recalled Xia Hao's words not to underestimate Mi Duo's capabilities and decided to continue observing her. The news of Xia Hao and Mi Duo's relationship boosted the company's sales performance. At a high-level company meeting, Wu Dashan argued that using gossip to boost sales was unreliable. The previous scandal involving Xia Hao and Gao Wen was a precedent. He suggested that his father fire Mi Duo immediately. This way, it wouldn't affect the company's image and would protect Xia Hao. Xia Hao declared to everyone that his relationship with Mi Duo was legitimate, not a scandal or publicity stunt. Just as the two brothers were arguing, their father made a decision. Xiao Zhendong immediately said that the company would not take any action against the employees involved in this matter. Wu Dashan's plan to attack Xia Hao had failed. He immediately found Mi Duo and threatened her. Even if Mi Duo deliberately hid the truth from Xia Hao, he would find out sooner or later. He even said that when that time came, either Xia Hao or Lei Jia would get hurt. Mi Duo was not afraid of Wu Dashan's threats at all. Afterwards, she told Lei Jia about her concerns. She regretted hiding the car accident and surgery from Xia Hao. Moreover, the more Xia Hao treated her well, the more upset she felt. Mi Duo's guilt made Lei Jia feel very sorry for her. Lei Jia decided to withdraw from Mi Duo's life. Only by distancing themselves from others would no one find out about Mi Duo's past secrets. Gao Wen returned the necklace he had obtained to Mi Duo. Mi Duo looked at the gift Lei Jia gave her for her new life and made a decision. She realized that she couldn't depend on Lei Jia anymore. However, The public's attention on Mi Duo and Xia Hao's relationship remained high. Her former boss also saw the news. Yi Qi's assistant found out that Lei Jie used to have a good female friend named Shurya, but after that, there was no trace of Shurya anywhere. Yi Qi believed that this fat woman must have a special relationship with Mi Duo. She immediately found Yao Wen to inquire about Shurya. Yao Wen was startled when she heard the name. Yi Qi asked her if Lei Jia had ever mentioned having a very fat female friend. Yao Wen told Lei Jia about it. However, Lei Jia pretended to be casual and told Gao Wen not to pay attention to Yi Qi. Lei Jia accompanied Gao Wen to the filming location. He warned Yi Qi not to bother Gao Wen. Yi Qi said she wasn't interested in Gao Wen. However, she was curious about the relationship between Lei Jia and Shurya, but Lei Jia didn't fall for it. Mi Duo also arrived at the filming location to give Gao Wen jewelry and accessories. When she saw Lei Jia there, she didn't go over to greet him. Mi Duo turned around and went to the makeup room alone. Just as she was calling Xia Hao, the circuit suddenly caught fire. She thought it was just a power outage and didn't think much of it. Yi Qi was about to leave when she suddenly remembered that Mi Duo was still in the makeup room. She hurried back to call Duo and leave together. Yi Qi listened to Mi Duo and Xia Hao exchanging sweet words and felt jealous. An evil thought suddenly arose in her heart. She closed the door and ran away. By the time Mi Duo discovered it, thick smoke was billowing outside. She thought she couldn't escape this time, so she called Xia Hao to tell him that she had been in a car accident and had to undergo plastic surgery. However, Xia Hao's phone happened to be out of battery, and he didn't hear the whole thing. The staff remembered that Mi Duo was still in the dressing room. Lei Jia rushed in to save Mi Duo, ignoring the raging fire. In order to protect Mi Duo, he was knocked unconscious. When Lei Jia woke up, he ignored his own injuries and searched everywhere for Mi Duo. Gao Wen discovered that Lei Jia was not in his hospital bed, and a bad feeling came over her. She came to Mi Duo's hospital room and found Lei Jia there. At that moment, Gao Wen's heart was filled with anxiety. One was her best friend, and the other was the man she loved most. Even so, Gao Wen still took great care of Lei Jia. The nurse asked her to tell Lei Jia that Mi Duo's condition was not serious. Gao Wen then realized that Mi Duo and Lei Jia had known each other before she did. Seeing the look of surprise on Gao Wen's face, the nurse said that Mi Duo used to visit Lei Jia often. This news was a blow to Gao Wen. She had been deceived by her best friend and boyfriend. Gao Wen couldn't help but feel a chill in her heart. Mi Duo ran into Lei Jia at the hospital. She was curious why Lei Jia was also hospitalized. Lei Jia made up an excuse to deceive Mi Duo. Mi Duo happily told Lei Jia that she had cleared everything up with Xia Hao. Xia Hao understood her and told her not to mention the past anymore. Lei Jia watched Mi Duo's happy expression and felt very pleased. Mi Duo and Lei Jia agreed to leave the hospital together. While waiting for Lei Jia, she ran into Gao Wen. She asked Gao Wen why she was there. Gao Wen asked her why she had deceived herself. Mi Duo tried her best to explain to Gao Wen, but Gao Wen was so angry that she couldn't hear anything. All she wanted to know was what kind of relationship Mi Duo and Lei Jia had before. Mi Duo hurriedly explained that she and Lei Jia were just ordinary friends. Their friendship was completely shattered at that moment. While packing her luggage, Lei Jia's colleague looked guilty and said that it was all her fault. She had accidentally mentioned to Gao Wen yesterday that Lei Jia and Mi Duo knew each other. Gao Wen came to the hospital room, and Lei Jia confessed to her. Lei Jia reiterated that he and Mi Duo were just ordinary friends. They had been through a lot together. Because some things involved Mi Duo's privacy, he couldn't reveal them. Lei Jia was trying to fall in love with Gao Wen. After learning the truth, Gao Wen was always afraid that the person she loved would leave her. This made Lei Jia both heartbroken and helpless. Yi Qi retrieved the surveillance video from the scene of the fire. She discovered that the name Lei Jia shouted while saving Mi Duo was Fatso. Xiao Zhendong advised Mi Duo in his father's name that she must leave Xia Hao. Liking someone doesn't necessarily mean you have to be together. If you love someone, you should let them go. This reason was enough to shake the kind-hearted Mi Duo. Xia Hao saw Mi Duo's gloomy expression and guessed that his father had spoken to her. In fact, his dream was to be with Mi Duo forever. Mi Duo heard this promise and became even more determined in her heart. Xia Hao invited Mi Duo to come live with him. Yi Qi did not give up her investigation into Mi Duo. Her assistant found out that Mi Duo had moved, and the person who signed the lease for the house where Mi Duo was currently living was someone else. Yi Qi immediately told Gao Wen about this. Gao Wen immediately said he knew about Mi Duo moving. Yi Chi said that the house Mi Duo was currently living in was rented by Lei Jia. Gao Wen finally couldn't sit still anymore and drove to Mi Duo's house. At that moment, Mi Duo was on the phone with Lei Jia. Gao Wen confirmed Yi Chi's words and returned home alone, heartbroken. Just as she was about to voice her doubts, Lei Jia confessed voluntarily. Lei Jia's honesty completely relieved Gao Wen. Gao Wen felt that everyone had their own past. She decided that it was enough that Lei Jia was good to her now. Yi Chi tried everything she could to investigate Mi Duo. She asked Mina about Shurya and got an important clue. Mina said that she had gone to look for Shurya before, but a woman told her that Shurya wasn't home. That woman was Gao Wen, who had been rumored to be having an affair with Xiahao some time ago. Mina is curious about how Gao Wen and Shurya know each other. Yi Chi is overjoyed to get the answer she wants. She concludes that Mi Duo is Shurya. Her assistant also finds out that Shurya had plastic surgery after the car accident. Yi Chi tells her assistant to find Shurya's plastic surgery records at all costs. She is determined to use these records to force Mi Duo to leave and get back everything she has lost. She appears before Mi Duo with a victorious look on her face. Yi Chi believes that everything Mi Duo has done is a calculated scheme to deceive Xiahao. If Xiahao finds out the truth, he will be heartbroken. It wasn't until then that Mi Duo learned from Yi Chi that Xiahao hadn't heard her confession at the fire scene. Yi Chi gave Mi Duo two choices: either wait until the truth comes out and let Xiahao suffer, or leave Xiahao with a good impression. Mi Duo chose to leave. Faced with the pressure from Xiao Zhendong and Yi Chi, Mi Duo didn't want Xiahao to suffer anymore. She made a difficult decision and left. She left a note and disappeared. Xiahao was completely distraught and found his father to ask about Mi Duo's whereabouts. Xiao Zhendong was furious to see his son so upset over a woman. He also wondered why Mi Duo had suddenly disappeared. Mi Duo agreed to go abroad with Xiao Zhendong to continue her studies in jewelry design, but she left the check on the table. Xiao Zhendong was very surprised that Mi Duo would agree to leave Xiahao without taking the money. Mi Duo sincerely hoped that Xiahao's future would not be ruined because of her. She didn't want to make Xiahao sad because of her mistakes. She didn't want to cause Xiahao to lose his father because of her. Mi Duo's sincerity and kindness moved Xiao Zhendong. Xiahao went crazy and ran to Mi Duo's former home. Gao Wen didn't want Xiahao to misunderstand that Mi Duo and Lei Jia had run away together. She couldn't get through to Mi Duo's phone and guessed that something must have happened to her. She quickly told Lei Jia about it. Lei Jia found Mi Duo through her cell phone and was furious. Mi Duo told him everything that had happened and decided never to come back. In his desperation, Lei Jia finally revealed his true feelings. He was no longer a friend, but a man begging the woman he loved to stay. Lei Jia's sudden confession left Mi Duo unable to accept it. Mi Duo coldly told Lei Jia to leave. Lei Jia returned home with a heavy heart. He couldn't let go of his feelings for Mi Duo. He couldn't continue deceiving himself and asked Gao Wen to break up with him. Gao Wen couldn't keep Lei Jia and couldn't help but shed tears. Love is like that. If the person doesn't love you, no matter how much you give, it's all in vain. Yi Chi helped the drunk man home and was seen by her husband. To get back the money Yi Chi had deceived him out of, her husband threatened her. "You better return the money and the company to me immediately. Otherwise, not only will I not divorce you, but I'll also expose our relationship." With no other options, Yi Chi had no choice but to call Wu Dashan for help. Wu Dashan wanted to use this opportunity to completely destroy Xiahao. He pretended to help Yi Chi secure a production order, but the only condition was that she had to contact him as the middleman. Moreover, the initial production costs had to be covered by Yi Chi. To raise such a large sum, Yi Chi had no choice but to take out a bank loan. However, to secure a loan, she needed a guarantor. At this point, Yi Chi turned to Xiahao for help. Xiahao had once said that anything else could be made up for in their relationship. Out of consideration for their past, Xiahao agreed to help. The assistant rushed over to tell Yi Chi that there was a problem with the company they were collaborating with. The various clues led Yi Chi to suddenly realize that she had been deceived by Wu Dashan. Yi Chi realized that Wu Dashan had intentionally used her to harm Xiahao. She immediately called Wu Dashan to confront him about whether he was trying to frame her, to prevent a third party from hearing the conversation. Wu Dashan came to Yi Chi's home and handed her a bank card. He told Yi Chi to leave immediately and that he would handle the rest. Yi Chi understood that if she left, all the responsibility would fall on Xiahao. She only wanted to reconcile with Xiahao. She never imagined that this time, she had harmed Xia Hao. Yi Qi took out the USB drive containing the recording of her meeting with Wu Dashan and the project documents. Wu Dashan's expression changed drastically. He immediately reached out to grab the USB drive. In the struggle, Yi Qi's head collided with the coffee table. Wu Dashan immediately threw the USB drive into the sea and sighed in relief. The next day, the USB drive appeared in Mi Duo's hands. She told Xia Hao that it contained her secrets. Mi Duo handed the USB drive to her beloved man. At the company board meeting, Wu Dashan used the incident where Xia Hao made a mistake while acting as a bank guarantor for Yi Qi to make accusations. The board members were in a bad mood due to the negative impact this had on the company. Wu Dashan took the opportunity to push for Xia Hao's removal from his current position. He also said that his father didn't trust Xia Hao. Now his father had handed over all the company's authority to him. Before long, Xia Hao calmly pulled out the recording. Wu Dashan panicked upon hearing it. He had clearly thrown the USB drive into the sea. How had it ended up in Xia Hao's hands? It turned out that Lei Jia had helped Mi Duo retrieve her plastic surgery records. He had learned from a friend about Yi Qi and her husband's affair. Lei Jia knew Yi Qi was facing an economic crisis, so he wanted to make a deal with Yi Qi to buy back Mi Duo's plastic surgery files. When he discovered Yi Qi was injured, he immediately called the police. Lei Jia tried to find Mi Duo's plastic surgery files on Yi Qi's computer but found nothing. However, he found a USB drive on the ground. In fact, the USB stick that Wu Dashan stole was empty. Lei Jia thought that Mi Duo's plastic surgery files were on the USB stick, so he gave the USB stick to Mi Duo. Only Mi Duo could make him happy. Lei Jia was willing to give everything for her. However, Mi Duo did not want to destroy the USB stick. She wanted the man she loved to know the real her. Soon, the police arrested Wu Dashan. Yi Qi was still lying in the hospital bed, unconscious. Lei Jia let go of his obsession. Perhaps loving someone means letting her be happy. Mi Duo boarded a plane to fly abroad with memories of Xia Hao and Lei Jia. She was going there to fulfill her unfinished dreams. Suddenly, a handsome man followed her and boarded the same flight.